Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Total War Warhammer 2. What you see right here is a really strong argument for why you need to have Lightning Strike. At least some of your lords need to have Lightning Strike. This guy is just barely on our border, or on our side of the border rather. So he's able to raid us, inflicting public order penalties and grudges, and stealing some of our money. And if we didn't have Lightning Strike, the only way to resolve this would be to fight these 8 units, and also these 20 units, and also the 7 units in this garrison. As it is, we can just roll up on this dude. We got some serious concerns up north, and we will deal with those. But I want to start with this. Now, obviously, this is going to be a pretty easy battle for us, and in a lot of situations, I would just auto-resolve this and move on, because we're just going to run Ungrim back to the settlement, and, you know, replenishment will happen quickly. But, given the presence of this 20 stack nearby, I think we're going to do this manually because we really need to minimize losses. I think we're going to be in a great big battle next turn, maybe the turn after. So yeah, Lightning Strike. They have a catapult. Okay, should be pretty easy. Oh, we have a banner. +4 leadership. Let's give this to a unit of warriors. Am I thinking here? I guess it doesn't really matter which one. They're all in about the same shape. My thinking there is just that obviously the Slayers don't benefit from it, and the Longbeards probably won't need it because they're much more likely to be winning against whatever they're fighting. Regular Dwarf Warriors getting caught out against Biggins or something is not a guaranteed win. Oh, really? Yeah, I guess that's true. There is that river there, isn't there? Okay, that's interesting. This is probably really bad for them because we have way more long-range weaponry than they do. That's probably something that's going to be true pretty much everywhere we go for the rest of the campaign. But dwarves, that's our thing. We have great artillery. Dwarf versus Skaven is probably interesting in that way, because as my memory of the Skaven artillery is that it is also pretty great. In particular, those the warp lightning cannons against anything large. Really, really a lot of fun. So this is going to be a little bit of a boring battle, because it is just going to be us throwing big rocks at them. I can't wait until we get the more impressive siege stuff. We're working on it now. We've got the siege workshop and the engineers workshop upgrades going. I actually have not looked too closely at what the enhanced siege weapons are. You know, gyrocopters though. We're gonna get access to gyrocopters soon. It would be cool to have a unit or two of those for battles like this, especially like there are not a huge number of ranged units in the Dwarf army, or in the Goblin army, and there are no ranged units in the Vampire army. So our gyrocopters will only be vulnerable to Vampire flying units. Alright, they're starting as far forward as they can. And I'm trying to figure out if I put my catapults over here, would we be able to get them into a position? Let's see, what's your range here? I'm trying to figure out if it's worth it to try to, like, run up here into the crook of the river. Because if moving up to this coast, to the shore of the river here, means that we can hit them pretty much everywhere in their spawn zone, then as soon as we start moving forward, they have to charge us. Nah, let's be honest. They're going to charge us no matter what I do. To some extent, you have to do things that are strategically sound in general, but to some extent you gotta do things based on what you know your opponent will actually do. And in this case, our opponent's a little bit, dumb. to put it very simply. Let's have the tough guys in the best position to run forward. And yeah, everybody else can just kind of be, like, nearby. This battle's gonna be mostly resolved before we actually make contact. I do want to make sure that Ungrim and the Rune Lord are further forward than that, though. Probably group these. Okay, they are going to walk toward us, which I appreciate. Absolutely not necessary. They should make me come to them. But, you know, here's the thing about greenskins. They're not so much for standing and waiting, or really long-term strategic planning. I don't think this is happening for role-playing reasons. I don't think the AI is like, well, orcs wouldn't just sit there and wait, but I do appreciate it anyway. Alright, incoming, I assume. Yep, there it is. Obviously, the unit of Biggins is the most dangerous thing going here, so we're going to focus on them just as soon as they're all in range. Oh, losing vision of them over the hill here. I didn't really think about that. I've given them a way to approach us while not being visible the entire time. I could have positioned my troops more intelligently. Alright, focus up. That's having an effect. So by starting my units so much in front of my catapults, I do want to talk about this real quick, because I screwed up here. Look at this. Their catapult has range on some of our units without having to be in range of our catapults. So now I gotta fiddle with this a little bit. It's not a big deal, especially since we can just pull people in front of the archers. Let's see, I guess we kind of just have to fall back, though, right? Like, this is an inconvenient firing arc for me. Yeah, alright, I'm just gonna have this whole group back up a little bit. Do not have to be at running speed. It's just a unit of warriors. They'll be alright. Alright, so the unit of Biggins is pretty much defeated already. Next thing I care about is let's kill that siege group. Here come their close range dudes who accidentally were getting hit by a lot of the rocks, it looks like. Okay. Here's the only actually dangerous part. These nasty skulkers actually can do a lot of damage. Yeah, you guys just do what you're gonna do. Now that our catapults are in range of their catapults, we can just advance on these guys. And in fact, I kind of think it's just like everybody run forward. All of you guys just sort of move up. Get in front. We'll block the shot for the Thunderers for a minute, but it'll be alright. Yeah, those guys are breaking already. Those Night Goblin Fanatics, that Fanatic attack really does do a number. It seems to be a once per battle thing, but it's a lot of damage.
For the ancestor gods! Quarrelers! For the ancestor gods! Slay the Oathbreakers! Longbeards!
This is about over then.
Nothing can stop us!
Obviously, Ungrim's just going to run toward their lord at full speed,
Move to attack!
while catapult projectiles strike the ground around him.
For the ancestors! Shield bearers! Ho!
We can get him, we can get him. This is taking a remarkably long time to resolve. I kind of thought this was going to be, like, real quick. They're just goblins, guys. Handle it. Get him on Grim. Boy. Not real fast. Yeah, this is embarrassing. Well, whatever. We won, and damage was pretty minimal, except for that unit of dwarves that got caught by the Night Goblin Fanatic attack. That's a, it's a serious thing. So we gotta make sure that we're watching when Night Goblin melee units approach, because the way it seems like that fires out sort of in a straight line, and we want to make sure that only one unit gets hit by it. We got kind of lucky here. I wasn't really paying attention, but we just had a wide formation, and so things worked out, but that it could have been way worse. So yeah, 95 losses, not too bad. This army is going to probably be driven back such a distance by this loss that it will not be safe to pursue them, because we really do want to make sure that Ungrim gets back to Iron Rock. If we pursue Rarthug across the river, my main concern is not Ungrim's army, it's that Azag the Slaughterer will just run over to Iron Rock and take it back. The garrison is only 12 units and will not stand against his army. Also, we're getting some good veterancy going. I wonder, is this a unit of Slayers that's been with us since the beginning of the game? Because it has close to as much veterancy as the ranged units that have been with us since the beginning. That's actually, if that is indeed the case, that's very impressive for a unit of Slayers to survive that long. Alright, of course, as always, execute captives. Yeah, I'm not pursuing that. And we have satisfied our grudge. Got a potion of speed, which actually is helpful. And I got the trait for defeating Azhag the Slaughterer because he was in the initial table for the battle, even though we lightning striked and prevented him from being part of it, which is a strange bug. But hey, I'll take it. 30% magic resistance for our hero is cool. And we gained enough levels to unlock Iron Drakes. Oh, Flamethrower guys. Okay, cool. We'll get to test these guys out and see if they're worth building. And also, Iron Breakers.
I grow restless.
We'll have to see what those regiments of renown have going for them. Okay, so I think we probably want to pick up Grimnir's heirs here. Longbeards, Hammerers, Ironbreakers, and Slayers are units that we will probably be using until the end of the game. And then we want to make it back to Iron Rock. Yeah, Azhag's army is a little scary. It's much less scary than the armies that we've seen that have similar compositions, but with a bunch of Black Orcs.
The Slayer in me seeks death.
But still, it's a group that we have to take seriously. Alright, we get back here, we'll be almost completely replenished in one turn, which I guess is a strong motivation for him to pursue us and lock down Iron Rock so that we can't regenerate.
Master of Runecraft.
Right, we moved you already, you're good. Oh yeah, we have the situation at Carrick Cadron. Well,
I am the White Dwarf.
so we have 20 units of vampire troops, some of them kind of torn up already, versus an 11-unit garrison and 12 units of Grombrindle's army, some of them pretty torn up already. But the garrison has, like, Longbeards and stuff in it, doesn't it? Yeah, 2 units of normal Longbeards, 2 units of Great Weapon Longbeards, Quarrelers and Thunderers. Okay, so despite the fact that Carrick Cadron's garrison is in better shape than Grombrindle's army, we gotta lead with Grombrindle's army because I want the siege weapons on the field at the beginning, not coming in after the fact. Also, hold on. I'm pretty sure that I know the answer to this already. You cannot normally recruit while you're sieged, but let's just see... Wait, where did... Oh, he's completely hidden by the smoke. Okay, that's what I thought. I figured I would not be allowed to bring in Regiments of Renown, but sometimes the rules around Regiments of Renown are a little weird, so... Alright, yeah, let's do it.
I'm ready.
Balance of Power bar does not think we have this. And somebody gets plus 10 armor-piercing damage. I guess that could go on a unit of Slayers, but since all of our units of Slayers are pretty torn up right now, I'm going to put it on some normal warriors instead. Plus 10 armor damage on 100 figures beats the heck out of plus 10 armor damage on 40 figures, even if there is a pretty significant melee attack difference. Boy, that's a really significant melee attack difference, though. I read a little bit of math. I did a little bit of research. We'll talk about it on the loading screen. I think we're cool to go here. Yeah, I read a little bit of math that suggests that the interaction of melee attack and melee defense is actually pretty simple. It's basically like the base hit chance is 35% plus your melee attack minus the target's melee defense. It's just a point of melee attack is gaining 1% chance to hit, assuming that you're not obviously getting thresholded by their melee defense being incredibly low or incredibly high. And then, like, the lowest possible chance to hit is 8%, and the highest possible is in the 90s somewhere. So that makes it a lot easier to estimate the value of melee attack and melee defense, provided that you have some idea what kind of troops you're going to be fighting. I'm a little worried about this. Fortunately, they don't have a lot of fast stuff. They only have the 2 units of cavalry. Our reinforcements are coming in behind them. That might turn out to be a really good thing. So are we in firing range already? Yeah, okay. In fact, we might want to... Do we want to back up a little bit more, even? Well, I don't want to abandon our reinforcements. Okay, so as soon as battle begins, one unit of cannons needs to hit the Black Knights, the other unit of cannons needs to hit the Hex Raids. I'm not... Here, let me turn this on for a second. How exactly does Ethereal work? Where's the Ethereal trait? Well, I thought it had a... They just have 75% physical resistance. They're also not slowed by terrain-based movement penalties. Okay. So it is a 60 unit or 60 entity unit. So they have less than 1,000 health, or they have less than 100 health each, right? So 75% physical resist is actually not going to protect them from these cannons all that well. The cannons are still going to do really good damage. Okay. Do I want to maybe have both the units of cannons focus on the Hex Wraiths right away? Because our other units can fight the Black Knights. No, we'll split it. We want to try to do morale damage. So you have the angle on those guys, and you have the angle on those guys. We don't need to change too much here. We'll focus the catapults in on some Graveguard. And... yeah, I mean, I guess this is fine. Remember, they have no ranged units, so... just a matter of waiting for them to get up here and then having at them. We should probably swap the position of these troops so that warriors are external and slayers are internal, though. Just to help defend against cavalry charges. And we'll have to wing troops around as they like try to get around behind our cav and stuff. No bats to worry about. I do want to say this about wolves. Dire wolves are much, much better fighters than bats are. In particular, dire wolves are really great at tearing up units that are retreating in a way that bats aren't. So we have to be careful about these guys. If they manage to get into our artillery line and break a unit, that unit will just die, like, immediately. Alright, I feel pretty comfortable with this as it is, though. Trying to quickly issue some orders here. You've got those guys. You've got those guys. Guard mode is automatic. And you... yeah, Great Weapon Graveguard are the ones we're really concerned about, because the other ones don't have that much armor piercing, and we can just slug it out with them. Alright, good luck, everybody. We gotta manage this side of the battle most actively. I mean, is there a reason to do anything other than run forward here? We should probably just run forward, right? Hey, you gotta run with them too. Alright, hold on. Let me make sure that we're grabbing these guys as a cohesive line. It's pretty much just... how is this starting to break up? They are moving the cavalry forward, and they're just breaking off a couple units of melee, it looks like. Maybe like half a dozen. Okay, this isn't bad. We can work with this. Let's grab these units and again try to form an actual line. In particular, we got to be careful. I'm going to actually have these guys move less forward than I just told them. Alright, this army does not have any artillery coming in or anything. This is, what you see here is pretty much what we get. This battle is going to have some significant amount of pausing in it as I try to make sure we don't get murdered by cavalry. Okay, I appreciate their cavalry running through their melee units. It's real good for our cannon fire. These guys are doing a good job of not getting shot at by running out of our line of effect very quickly. Alright, Crypt Ghouls will get torn up pretty quickly as I remember it. They don't have a lot of armor. Yeah, okay, they'll get torn up pretty quickly by the ranged. I don't know why I even started my guys behind my range. That's right, vampires don't have any ranged units. I don't have to worry about them getting range on us before we have range on them. Man, I bet these dire wolves are actually going to do really good damage against slayers. Maybe a little cautious about this. Brombrindle is probably going to have to stay close. Oh, we could use a fireball. soften this up a little bit. That'll help. So I'm trying to make sure that we have enough Slayers to, defend the backside of our artillery, while also being ready to flank up here, because that's going to be important. Guess we're okay for now. We got some time left before the back part of the battle really engages. Although, actually, I guess I have to pay attention to that right now, because we need to be shooting at people. Alright, so Black Knights have taken a little bit of cannon damage. We're going to have to turn that secondary cannon unit, because it's not going to chase due to guard mode, but it currently doesn't have a good shot on the units it needs to have a good shot on. Alright, let's see if we can get the gunners firing into the Black Knights. Obviously, they're pretty armored, and this white swirly effect you see on them is the Invocation of Nehek, which is healing them. It won't heal them for a ton, but it's going to be a problem still. Yeah, this unit of cannons actually... Yeah, just lost range on the unit it was firing on, so let's fix this. We're going to go ahead and have them turn... getting rid of these hex wraiths is really important. Okay, like I said, lots of pausing this battle. My apologies, but this one's important, and not, I think, a guaranteed win by any stretch. I see what you're doing. I try to get over here and defend the flank. Sorry, like this. Okay, apparently Grombrindle's under attack. We gotta keep paying attention here. Alright, Dwarf Warriors are taking the charge. I mean, this really couldn't be going better. And then... Grombrindle. So, this stuff. I looked away for long enough that the dogs were able to charge right toward our range. This is the kind of micro issues that I have. So we're going to try to get these Slayers around, catch the Hex Wraiths in the back. The better a job we can do of preventing them from retreating, the more likely we are to actually be able to kill them at some point, eventually. This unit of Crypt Ghouls is pretty torn up. We should probably continue to focus on them. Make sure that happens. You guys need to have at these Grave Guard, rather. And I'm going to have to bring the Slayers forward at some point here. I'm a little worried about that, obviously. Okay, how about this? How about we move these guys... Just move these guys over a little bit. Try not to totally block the Thunderer's shot. And in fact, it's probably better if the Thunderers are focused here. And then we'll move the Slayers around to this side to block those guys in. I don't want the Slayers going toe-to-toe with Graveguard. I'm much happier with them fighting Crypt Ghouls. Get that flank. You guys just gotta back up. Alright, the dogs are losing their battle pretty rapidly here, which is vitally important for us. Those things really need to get lost. Okay, you can see them starting to disengage. That's actually a good thing, and we should probably not chase them too much here. If they're going to disengage, we don't have to back up quite so much. And then you guys can run up here. You guys can just kind of get in the way and prepare to receive a charge, maybe. But this will give our cannons a little bit of time to fire, which will be valuable. Crypt Ghouls have charged right into us. Let's try to get engaged with the right people here. I think our Thunderers are in a little bit of danger. Manage these fronts. Yeah, you guys may as well grab that. Black Knights have tied themselves up in here. Hopefully these Slayers will be enough to deal with them. I'm gonna see if we can get this group of Thunderers to fall back. They probably still have a shot here. I saw the flag in the middle of this group and thought they were in much more danger than they were, but the mass of the unit is on these guys. So if we can resolve this side over here quickly, we can have the cannons start firing into the back of the enemy line, and that'll shatter them very quickly. Nobody likes to be shot in the back by artillery. Catapult's doing some okay work, but it's doing some okay work on the units that are not an immediate threat. We actually probably ought to refocus these guys on the dire pack. The dire pack actually ran straight through and is now... Okay, well, we're doing damage to them. So yeah, you can see the cannons have been doing some... Wow! Wow, that cannon fire. Okay. Well, we're hurting them. We're taking a lot of damage doing it, though. Oh, hey, we have more charges of our spells. Well, first of all, Sword of the Anti-Heroes. Do more damage. Kill more guys. Secondly, cast spells on dudes who have armor. Okay, those hex rates are almost done. This unit of zombies seems to have no idea what it wants to do, but that's fine with me. These guys are losing quite badly. I mean, they're fighting a lord, so... Or a melee hero, so that is going to happen. Black Knights are losing pretty badly. I mean, they're totally outmatched. Sorry, numerically outmatched. They're probably better individual units than anything we have over here. All right, you guys need to get up here and help. And this is Helmengorst himself. Now, Helmengorst is not a vampire, but he is an extremely good necromancer. He's one of their legendary lords. He can't be that good of a fighter, right? Just make sure that the Thunderers stay focused here. I think we probably need to get the Longbeards up into action. We gotta devote way more units to this fighting up here. I don't know that our Thane is going to be able to take a unit of Graveguard and a unit of Crypt Ghouls at the same time. Remember, the Crypt Ghouls have poison, so they are murdering his stats there. These Longbeards should win handily against these Skeleton Spearmen. Hopefully it won't take them too long, because we are on the clock over here. Let's have the range try to focus on these guys, I think. Yeah, and same thing over here. Just shoot some Crypt Ghouls if you can. Alright, it's tough to not pay attention to either side of this because there's enemy cavalry on both sides. But I think this is the place where we're in a lot of danger. Hopefully these guys will die off soon due to their completely zeroed out leadership. Oh no, Crombrindle, you can help them with that morale problem, right? Affects allies in range, map-wide. Make those dudes unbreakable, because these dudes are about to break. Yeah, they're losing that pretty badly. Alright, let's try backing these guys up a little bit. We can get a better shot. I think probably what's happening here is that some of our Thunderers are not firing, because they would have to fire through their allies. So if we can make a narrower formation here, we can do a little bit more gunning. Grombrindle's holding it down, as you might expect, because he's Grombrindle. These guys are almost dead, and as soon as these guys are dead, this unit can turn around and start... Yeah, these Slayers are definitely going to die. It's too many Crypt Ghouls, man. We're going to form a nice tight block over here, too. We're going to start firing into this flank, because we are going to lose if we don't. This area is still a real mess, too. Man, I'm actually concerned that this part of the battle is going very poorly. This side's going better, I think. The Black Knights recharged us, but they're so low on health. How much actual health does this unit have left? 400. Okay, yeah, we should be done with them any moment now. Try to make sure everything's going pretty reasonable here. Can we actually, like, sweep around the side a little bit more? There we go. Hit him in the back as much as possible. Yeah, we're doing good work there. Okay, Black Knights are completely dead. Alright, things are going okay over here. Focus on the Crypt Ghouls first. The unit of zombies is eventually going to get into the battle. Hex rates are very close to dead and crumbling. Like we're crumbling these guys as well. Just focus on those Graveguard, because you'll be dead soon if you don't. think the dire pack is not fading quickly enough for my taste. Let's make sure those slayers finish the job. Okay, and the hex wraiths were nice enough to turn our cannons to the front here, so as soon as they die, the cannons will have actual shots. You could probably refocus now, actually. We don't need both units to be worried about that. Okay. The dire pack are dead, but even while they were being fought, they spent a very small amount of time in our artillery and did that much damage. So let us all be wary. Those guys are incredibly dangerous. Start focusing on the next target. Guys are going down soon. We're getting some good damage in over here now, but this front is collapsing a little bit. You know what we need is Grombrindle. Also, for Grombrindle to shoot fire. Yeah, it should only take one of our units of Slayers to finish this job, so we can hopefully get over on that. You guys are back at your catapults. So this is dangerous, but we need to be like close range firing into these Graveguards. Something's got to kill these Graveguard, and I'm starting to think we may not have enough Dwarves left to get the job done. And over here, things are going okay. Got a nice wide front against these guys. Our Thane is getting torn up, but we're starting to get through the Graveguard. It's taken forever for the Longbeards to kill these skeletons. Longbeards are tough. What they are not, however, is incredibly damaging. T-Rap on those guys to try to get that job done. Everybody else is actively engaged, so doing what they need to do. It's just taking forever. Gorst is losing a fight with some random Slayers because he's just an old guy. I don't think he's undead. Okay, that did some decent damage.
Power of the ancestors.
Grombrindle, disengage, man. You need to focus up.
Yes, men. Yes. Hit them. Take aim. Run.
Look at these cowards.
Move. Move.
Right, we might be able to get a little flank with these guys and hopefully do a little bonus morale damage to the enemies. We're getting through them. It's not going super well. These crypt ghouls are taking forever to die. This is part of what is dangerous about vampire armies, is that they take a really long time to die. 10 seconds on the cooldown on that fireball. Yeah, with most armies, you don't have to fight them all the way to the end, because they flee considerably before that, right? Okay, these guys are just about dead. I'm sure the next volley or two will finish them off. And our Thane... Okay, so our Thane killed the Crypt Ghouls and almost killed this unit of Graveguard, you know, with a little bit of backup. So I'm very happy with his contribution here. Who are you currently targeting? You're just kind of on fire duty. Ghouls. Just get rid of ghouls. Get rid of poison. We're taking a lot of damage here. Our army's going to be in terrible shape, and the garrison's going to be in terrible shape. Which makes me a little nervous, because we know there's another Vampire 20 stack nearby. I think this is still the battle we got to focus on for now.
Get moving. Blow through.
I'm going to try to get all the way around behind
Range fast.
this group.
Nothing can stop us.
Come on, you can do it. You can take them.
As you say.
It's a pretty good fireball. Okay. Everything over here crumbled, like, pretty much simultaneously. Get going. All you guys, just find whatever shots you can. It looks like we hit the full army break morale point. And not a moment too soon, I think. Yeah, that got a little hairy. We got through it. And honestly, I think it's going to turn out that our total losses are a little bit lower than I would have expected. Mulgo's army coming in behind the enemies, I think, actually really helped us. Yeah, 327, 198. It's not that bad. The problem is that the damage is to a lot of different... It's spread out over the units. So it looked like we were losing the battle really badly because we don't really have a lot of stuff that's still healthy. But the overall losses weren't too bad, and the damage being spread out like this will make it easier to replenish from, as long as we actually get to replenish. Because like I said, that other vampire army is something we probably have to be careful of. We might have to have Thorgrim move up a little bit to threaten... I can't remember the name of the castle, but that big castle in eastern Sylvania. Execute the captives, and where are we at on that? So we got a magic resist trinket. Grombrindle has poison attacks now for having defeated Helman Gorst. Gorst or Ghost? That is a not great name for a trait.
Ask another.
Remarkably, there were some escapes despite the fact that we actually saw every one of their units perish on the battlefield. So that seems odd. Okay, we can pull a unit or two of Regiments of Renown. We should probably do this. So, okay, what is the deal with these guys? When standing and bracing against a charge, they will negate the enemy's charge bonus. They have a special ranged weapon with only 2 ammunition. Does not say what it is. Do Ironbreakers have grenades? I don't actually know what the default Ironbreaker looks like. Where is Ironbreaker? Yeah, okay, Ironbreakers have grenades. I think, probably. I can't imagine the normal version of the unit having anything else. So it's probably just minor grenades. Seems like a good unit. I think I want them over the flamethrowers, because this army's going to have a little bit of trouble with cohesion. Yeah, and then we pursue, right?
Attack!
And as lame as this battle is going to be, we definitely have to do this manually, because if I hit auto-resolve here, the auto-resolver is going to take all of our injured units. When, in fact, my suspicion is that we will not make contact with the enemy at all this battle. Probably what should happen here, I think, is that our artillery solves the problem entirely. The cannons will make short work of the remaining Black Knights, and then everybody else will just get slaughtered as they try to walk very slowly toward us.
Quarrelers!
I'm going to remember, this time there's no particular reason for the range to be in front, because the vampires have no ranged units of their own. These Ironbreakers have Vanguard, huh? Well, I don't think I want them to do anything particularly strange here. Also, that's a lot of guys in that unit. Let's have a good look at them. These guys are pretty cool looking. Alright, don't think there's a lot to this. Let me select my cannons. Hit start battle. This is your focus target. Catapult should probably be trying to work over some Graveguard, although also, obviously, there's a benefit to just firing at the units in the front. Yeah, this shouldn't take long. Marching with their shield up, that's going to help. And if they get close, they have to eat that initial wave of grenade tosses from the Ironbreakers. Yeah, we shouldn't take any damage here, I don't think. If I had hit auto-resolve, the auto-resolver loves to kill units that are weakened. Gorst has changed his mind. He's like, wait a second, this is a terrible idea. Here comes the initial normal ranged fire. Jesus! Yeah, that guy's like, whoa. Do I want to do this? I'm not sure. Holy crap! I don't know, this video game's alright, I guess. I haven't really left my Thunderers a way to shoot, but something tells me it's not going to be an issue. These guys still have, like, a third of their ammunition left, so... Okay, I think they over-focused a little bit on the one target, but it'll be alright. Oh! Really? That was pretty short. Yeah, alright, let's do this. Get over here. Alright, the healthy unit of Slayers can run up here and, grab these dudes. Hard to imagine that this is going to turn into anything other than a slaughter on our part here. Grombrindle should probably have been further forward. Oh, he could have been firing fireballs. Yeah, we could have made initial contact with even fewer total vampires. Get around here and do some morale damage. We're gonna get behind these guys. And there's the crumbling. I'm not gonna fire the fireball in this area. I'm a little concerned that I will not be able to avoid friendly fire damage. I guess the Quarreler should just focus on Helm and Gorst. Also, Grombrindle should get over here and focus on Helm and Gorst. You guys can back off. Oh, I got hung up on some skeletons or something. Boy, I hope you guys are being careful with your aim. I would love it if this battle did not end with me taking a ton of friendly fire damage. Or ended up losing a bunch of units to friendly fire damage.
War of vengeance! Put those dwarven legs! Move now! Attack the earth! Rage beyond reckoning.
I'm having a real hard time getting Grombrindle to actually get over to Gorst. There's a lot of stuff between them. There we go. Go, get him.
Now is the season of our discontent.
Yeah, our units seem to be suffering somewhat from being around this battle. So let's take the vulnerable guys and back them out.
How about them? Yes! Kazoo! Kazoo! Kazoo!
Alright, Gorst. I'm not confident that you would win in a battle with one dwarf. You guys can stop firing. Halt. Do not fire at will. Stop doing stuff. Okay, the enemy lord is wounded. We did it. We got him. There's definitely some unnecessary cannon fire at the end there that I'm sure killed at least one dwarf. 32 total losses. Yeah, not great. I should have had Grombrindle up at the front, shooting fireballs the entire time they were approaching. That said, I'm confident these Ironbreakers can hold it down for a while. And if we can just buy Grombrindle a couple of turns to replenish, I think we'll be able to hold the line against the second vampire army as well. So Thorgrim's got to put some pressure on them from the south to make them feel unsafe moving toward Carrick Cadron. Man, if we lost Carrick Cadron now, after we just spent 15,000 gold, after we spent all that time trying to get the population up, I will be very cross.
Forward! You know who I am.
Get back in there and heal. Also, what do we want to do here? Replenishment rate for all characters faction-wide is a big deal. Global recruitment capacity is also pretty good. Recruitment cost is actually a pretty minor expense in the grand scheme of things, but recruit rank for everybody also is really good. I think we want to probably pick up all 3 ranks of Ancient Acumen and all 3 ranks of Get Up, and probably eventually the White Dwarf's Call as well. Grombrindle is a really neat character. I think for now let's focus on replenishment rate, because we have a lot of armies everywhere taking a lot of damage. We have very little money to work with, so we certainly can't afford to build anything. But we can start some recruitment. This army could really use another ranged unit, I think. If we can just get our replenishment on, I think we're fine holding, but we could really use more,
Our enemies shall
I'm gonna grab
tremble.
Quarrelers. Although I do think Thunderers are better against the more dangerous vampire units, the Quarrelers are a lot easier to use.
Good.
Yeah, but like I
Grimnir's
said,
axe
Thorgrim
first.
needs to... Hold on, let me get a little bit more vertical here. Thorgrim needs to threaten Castle Drakenhof. We need this army to feel like they have to come south. Kemmler, interestingly, also not a vampire. Apparently, they don't feel that we're much of a threat, because they're not devoting any of their good generals to us. So I guess let's just walk right up to the edge of the territory.
Aye.
If we step over the line, we're going to start eating vampiric corruption. But here, they should be able to see that I am threatening Castle Drakenhof. Hopefully that'll be a distraction. Alright, is there anything else that needs to get done? This has been a long turn. But I think we're actually pretty much good now.
I'm here now.
Yeah, sure. Bring in another unit of warriors. Let's buff this army up. This vampire stuff is starting to heat up in a way that I'm not entirely comfortable with. Okay, and we have 300 oath gold again. We keep getting and then immediately satisfying grudges, so... we can't quite make any weapons yet. We're short obsidian, which we do have a source of coming online soon. So we can make Starbreaker. Attacks cause the discouraged effect, reducing leadership. Wow. Okay, this is probably what we should save oath gold for. We could use this like on our Rune Lord at the very least. I think all of our other lords are going to get quests for their own legendaries, so probably we should just hold on to the oath gold until we can finish the obsidian mine at Iron Rock. Speaking of which, we are 2 turns off of being able to get the final population upgrade. Alright, so if Azhag does come down here, I think the garrison plus this army should be able to handle him. Yeah, it looks like they do plan to attack. That guy's moving in to reinforce. Okay, I don't think we would do a bad job of fighting these guys on a wall. Oh, we don't have a wall to fight them on. That's right. Iron Rock is not a walled settlement yet. Those dudes back off. I think we can move the Rune Lord out this way. Like, we can move pretty fast across the Badlands territory. Okay, Kemmler, what are you going to do? Okay, good. He's backing off. Yeah, we can move pretty fast across that Badlands territory, so we could still have the Rune Lord in position to support Grombrindal pretty soon, I think. And with him sort of still in the mouth of that pass near Karazakarak, he could catch that goblin army if it decides it's going to go after Mount Squighorn again. And we're just going to have to build walls in Mount Squighorn. It's too exposed. A little bit of a shame, because, you know, every population slot out there, every building slot out there is something that could be generating us money. Talabagland negotiated peace with the vampire counts so that they could immediately go to war with everybody else. Also, how far are we from that lord being, or that Thane being available again? It keeps resetting the position of the list. That's very annoying. Still 4 turns. Yeah, I guess this is still the first turn after that happened, isn't it? It's been an eventful one. Okay, so the vampires backed off. Grombrindal's gonna have time to rebuild his army, which is great. Oh, Grombrindal's getting his stuff too. Move a character to Carrick Norn. There is no hearth the White Dwarf calls home. He wanders the Karazankor, mostly in disguise, with hooded cloak hiding his face, if not his magnificent beard. When dwarfkind is in trouble, when an ancient grudge needs settling, then Grombrindal will be there to lend his legendary axe and mighty skills in battle, a great boon for any throng. In most cases, it is the White Dwarf that seeks out such peril. He will arrive unheralded before or even during battle, when all looks lost. However, there have been occasions when Grombrindal has been summoned. If the tales hold true, opening a cask and pouring a flagon of the local master brewer's most precious ale, all while cursing the Black Goblin in flawless ancient Kazalid, means the White Dwarf will appear soon after. That is how a group of renowned rangers claimed to get Grombrindal's attention. After the White Dwarf had quaffed his flagon of Bugman's Troll Chaser, so called as all you want to do is find and kill a troll after one swig, The Rangers relayed their message, that none other than the greatest brewmaster Joseph Bugman was in need of the White Dwarf's aid. Grombrindle helped himself to another flagon and downed it in one. After wiping his whiskers with his sleeve, he bade the Rangers accompany him to the Grey Mountains, and from there to Bugman's brewery. As the Rangers broke camp, none dared to inquire as to why Grombrindle's armor was missing so many of its fine scales, and the White Dwarf himself certainly didn't care to mention it. His armor is missing or busted up or something, we gotta put it back together. It's kind of strange that we need to go to Carrick Norn because we need to get to Bugman's brewery, when Bugman's brewery is over here, right? That's what the, yeah. That's weird. Are they expecting... Does Grombrindle usually start over here? No, he must not. He's part of the normal dwarf faction. Huh. Okay, well, after we get a character over to wherever the heck it is that we were supposed to get a character to over here, Weissmund, that guy can just move to Carrick Norn shortly after. Oh, we still gotta check in with Krekadrak every once in a while.
To war!
They don't love us,
Message,
but they're looking like they're in pretty desperate state here, so maybe we can... Sometimes when factions are feeling desperate, you can get stuff out of them that they wouldn't ordinarily give.
Armed and ready.
Okay, let's move right up to the edge of the territory here.
My anger burns bright.
Because I do still want to get replenishment. That's a long run, though. We're not going to be able to get in there in time.
It's a giant battle.
We could join the battle next turn if we go into March mode now and run. I think that's probably what we ought to do. I'd love to stick around and get the replenishment, but we gotta get over here and help him.
One right.
Right? I mean, his army's not really in that bad of a shape, and Iron Rock does have a 12-unit garrison. And it's not a bad garrison either. It's got some miners in it. Yeah, let's just be sure. So, I don't want to put this army in a place where it could get jumped by Azhag's stack alone, though. So let's run, like, right up just short of the edge of Azhag's normal movement. Like, here.
Heading out.
That's good enough, right? Yeah, that should be good. So he can't quite attack us, but we're in range next turn to be able to run in and assist here. And this turn, Ungrim Iron Fist can grab this guy with a lightning strike. Once again, we should probably manual this, just to be sure. They really should have hit the city with Azhag's stack instead of this tiny one, because I'm pretty sure Azhag had enough movement. He must have had enough movement to get to the city proper, because these guys were behind him and they made it. Yeah, not initiating the siege with the strong army feels like a big mistake on their part. If we win this battle, when we win this battle, I don't think we run out and attack Azhag. I think we allow him to back off if he wants to, because we're going to have 2 stacks to converge on him the turn after that. And let's start with the catapults at the very front of the area so that they can be firing right away. And then, yeah, we'll move other stuff up.
Strike out! Dwarf warriors!
They do have a catapult. This is gonna be shorter than this kind of thing is against the vampires, even because of the fact that these guys have to actually worry about morale. Yeah, mostly I'm worried about the catapults here. As soon as that catapult unit is in range. Did we actually... Yeah, we just destroyed one of the catapults already. Okay, that problem seems pretty much solved. Come on, hit the catapult itself. Ah. It'll do, I guess. These goblins will recover their nerve at some point, and they'll run back over to this, so we gotta pay a little bit of attention for that, but I think we're probably pretty much okay. Yeah, it is a shame that we have to manually resolve these battles when there's really not anything interesting going on in a lot of them. But we really, really have to minimize losses here. We are fighting a force that has the resources to be vastly numerically superior. Let's try to focus on these guys, please, and just grab this whole melee line. Sorry, I should have been clear. You just, like, run out into the middle of everything. Wait, try to... Okay. So I'm going to try to separate these guys out. I want the... Oh, no, those are skulkers, not fanatics. Never mind. Fanatics are over here. Oh, boy, that's not great. Forward. Actually, the fanatics don't seem to be doing very much damage this time. Not entirely sure why. See that? The crew came back. I think they should be giving up any moment now. Yep, all their units are in open retreat at the same time. And I think this will destroy their army. Oh no, you know what? They probably do get to back up from the sieging condition. I don't think sieging is one of those things that disables retreat. So that was pretty easy. We probably lost almost nobody. Yeah, 20. Alright. There's a little bit of contact right there at the end. So now all of a sudden, I don't think Azhag should have any hopes of being able to actually pressure Iron Rock. With these guys run off, we're going to actually get replenishment this coming turn. And then we have the Rune Lord in position both to threaten Azhag's army and close enough to the mouth of that pass that I think that that tiny goblin army that keeps threatening Mount Squighorn should probably not try to run in there. I think we've got really good positioning for this Greenskin fight. It's going to be very tough for them to take back Iron Rock or Black Crag if they keep sacrificing stacks like this.
I am the Slayer King.
Alright, let's get another level of Grimnir's Heirs. We're going to obviously keep going until we get Stand Your Ground, which is a pretty powerful buff.
Yes.
Yeah, there's no reason for us to try to fight Azhag. We'll just wait until we have backup. Alright, still trying to earn back Rune of Wrath and Ruin, which we didn't even really get much of a chance to play with before our other Rune Lord was lost.
Send me to vengeance.
So the bad news is now we have no idea where Heinrich Kemmler's army is, and Castle Drakenhof actually has a pretty mean garrison, right? 2 Vargulfs. A bunch of Vargeists, a bunch of Graveguard, a lot of Graveguard. Cairn Wraiths, which are ethereal, terror-causing, armor-piercing melee infantry. Yeah, I don't think we should actually attack. What about... what's going on with Carrick Dromar? It's definitely in danger. There are a lot of enemy armies over here. You know what? I think I'm just going to underway move back toward Carrick Dromar. We can reappear at the edge of Drakenhof territory if we have to. But mostly what I want is to try to make sure we don't lose Carrick Dromar. We need... Oh, actually, we have enough population. We're gold limited. We need more money. Okay. Yeah, everything's going fine over here. We can probably change this to the growth commandment. And how are we doing on those upgrades in Carrick Cadron? Alright, next turn we'll have the Engineer's Workshop available, which is totally fine. It puts a Master Engineer in the garrison, which is cool. And then 2 turns after that, we'll be able to actually recruit some new stuff, which I'm very much looking forward to.
I
I am the white.
I should probably grab another unit for his army. Let's see here. We've got some ranged. We've got some slayers. I think let's get a unit of longbeards. We're not making very much money at the moment, but remember that the gold mine at Black Crag was not constructed yet. That we're still working on that. Oh. Wait a minute. They can't actually reach me, right? I was outside of his movement range. Oh, the game just straight lied to me about what his movement range was. That's interesting. Because we were definitely outside of it. Well, this is bad. We're going to lose this army. Well, we can't retreat because we're in march mode, so let's fight it. But yeah, that's frustrating. That's an annoying thing to have happened. If we lose this army, do we lose Karak or Karazakarak? Maybe. Because Ungrim's going to be chasing. He may not get there in time. As Karazakarak has walls and it has a big garrison, it'll probably be fine. This sucks, though. This should not be happening. I mean, I guess a lot of this army's not actually that impressive. Of course, it's a massive, uneven battlefield with tons of cover. Where do we set up our siege stuff, or our artillery stuff, rather, for maximum benefit? Probably up here on this ridge? I was thinking that, we can fire over the trees as long as we can maintain vision. They'll probably just they'll probably be over here. They'll just come at us across this open part, though. As always, they are not the greatest of strategists. We certainly have a volume of fire. I should probably set these guys up so that they're, yeah, lined up. We do have some cavalry, but it's just like Goblin Wolf cavalry. It's not anything we have to be particularly afraid of. I'm going to put a couple of units of dwarves right here, ready to run up on this side. And I don't think they actually have much in the way of ranged in this army. They do have some Night Goblin Archers. Night Goblin Archers have really short range, though. Alright, this is gonna suck a lot. Let's fast forward this a little bit. And their bonus army coming in way behind them is probably not particularly great or particularly bad for them. Oh yeah, you guys are supposed to do this. Let's go to normal mode here. I want to just focus up on one of these units of biggins. Just eliminate as many of them as possible. Actually, you guys should probably... I'm trying to think here. I don't really want them to take cavalry charges directly, but still, it's only wolf cavalry. Like, I don't care that much. We'll be okay.
Quarrelers, hit your targets well. For the Karas Angkor.
Well, they're going to try to find their shots on both sides. We'll see how this goes. And we're going to do a lot more damage to them than they're going to do to us in this skirmishing phase here. Try to get as many of those night goblins down as we can before they get in range of the fanatic attack.
Let's start shooting.
They do have a lot, though, don't they?
Kill them all in Beard's reach.
Where are you guys going? Oh. Yeah, fair enough.
Ready to serve. Dwarf warriors.
Okay. So this is actually pretty good timing for them, right? They wrap their cavalry around at the moment when we most want to move people forward to engage, but we're just going to have to not fall for it. Quarrelers are in some danger. So you should probably get over to this side, and we got to remember to keep our buff rolling from the moment contact is made until the moment the battle is over. As much uptime as possible. These guys are still not really a threat. There's some big uns approaching here. We should probably try to retarget for the moment. Yeah, this is going to get bad.
For the ancestors, yes! Armed and ready. The Karazhan Corps.
You can probably handle that by yourself, honestly.
We demand blood!
Okay. Tons and tons and tons of invisible Night Goblin units everywhere. Also, man, we actually don't have range superiority, which is very unusual. Alright, so we have a lot of stuff happening over here. I want to wait for these guys to make contact and have some of these Slayers move in on them. What we probably have to do for the moment, actually, is refocus the catapults on the ranged, because we are not in a position where we can afford a lot of friendly fire damage. These are big ones coming in. I mean, they're kind of a distant concern, though. Yeah, we're not in a position where we can afford a lot of range damage or a lot of friendly fire damage. Back on your catapults. We got people dealing with it. We're in here. We'll handle it. You guys need to fire on this group arranged, and you guys are firing on this group arranged. Yeah, we're going to lose this army. But we got to do as much damage as possible here. We got to make it not feasible for Azhag to just continue marching north.
Dwarf warriors! Kazuk! Iron will!
Alright, the good news is there's not actually a lot of stuff over here on this flank. So if we can soften this flank up enough, we can relocate some of these troops. I want to try to commit over here, burn these boys down. I'm not sure that we're going to survive doing that, though. And this flank, I mean, this flank probably needs the bodies. Alright, we're getting through the range fairly quickly. You guys really need to focus. We gotta not take tons of poison damage. There's just too much stuff. Yeah, this as far as ways to lose an army go, this one hurts. This sucks.
Quarrelers! Take them down! Dwarf warriors!
I assumed that the game UI could be trusted. You know, I think that's a reasonable thing to do.
Iron will!
Yeah, our Lord needs to resolve this situation because we need bodies. We're losing the fight over here, though. Okay, we had too many ranged focused on stuff that's in the distance. Stuff that is already retreating. The catapults are going to have to refocus on... Like, we're gonna take some friendly fire damage. That's just going to happen. We don't have the option of not taking a ton of friendly fire damage, I think. You guys can make that shot. I believe in you. No, I'm trying to target... Yeah, that unit over there on that side. So this flank is going to collapse completely in a second here. Those units cannot fight Azhag. He's He's kind of an orc war boss character, but also you can see the green glowing eyes. He's got some like necromantic magic or something. I think he has a magic hat. It sounds like a joke. It sounds like I'm making a joke about how orc lore is goofy, but I believe it literally, the thing that's happening is he has a magic hat that tells him how to do spells. You guys need to focus here. They really have a lot of range. Jesus. Yeah, here comes the second army's war boss. Come on, just land a bunch of rocks. And that's still got to get done. We don't have enough. We just don't have enough bodies. Oh, we're getting routed by spells and stuff over here too. Yeah, all right. Well, we managed to do some damage, not as much as I would have liked. Again, it's a crappy way to lose an army. Just keep focusing on the range with our range as much as possible. We want to weaken their range for the future. Because Ungrim's going to have to kill this whole army off. And it'll be easier if I have a massive range advantage and I can just hammer them as they have to march slowly toward us, right? The good news is, this army is going to be in terrible shape and it's not going to have time to replenish. I think Ungrim should be able to reach it on our next turn. Sort of good news. It's good-ish news. Okay, we can probably just fast forward. Let's let our troops do damage as long as they can. Well, the other good news, this silver lining here, is that this means that we are going to be making a lot of money for a few turns because we're not going to have to pay the upkeep costs of all these troops. That's, you know, that's something. Yeah, we did some good damage here. Very frustrating that this happened at all, though. So as far as I'm aware, Ozhag's army and then these two like tiny partial goblin armies are the only stacks that the Greenskins have over here. They're showing us weaker than we are, and we know they have two armies to the west in the mountains west of Carreg Dromar. So these are probably the only armies in this part of the world. Did our lord survive? Nope, killed in battle. Because he could have just been wounded, right? Nope, and then he still has enough move to get completely out of Ungrim's range. Yeah, this guy has a lot of movement bonuses that I guess he gained after the turn began. Oh, they're trying to move through the underway, and they're doing it too close to us. And we should do this, and I mean, I know this battle's not going to be super fun to watch. Listen, I'm not going to do anything important in this video after this, so if you want to tune out, I understand. But we have to do it manually, because otherwise the auto-resolver is going to deal damage to our army that doesn't need to exist. And we can't really afford to take extra damage right now.
Kill the old splitters.
So this is the underway. Welcome. It has great big dwarven statues everywhere. And, you know, it has seen better days. Dwarf situation has been in a long, slow decline.
For the Kara's encore.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty much fine. We should have our lords at the front, though. Alright, start with their catapult. Hopefully we can get it to only be able to fire once. Wow, none of those hit. I mean, it's a small target, I guess. That's kind of incredibly embarrassing, though. There we go. Okay. That'll probably be the last of those volleys for a moment. Didn't actually break the catapult, unfortunately. Now, they do have a unit of skulkers, which will become visible as it gets closer to us. Hopefully they were close to the catapult or the chariots, so that we're doing damage to them while we're blind firing here. Wow, that chariot just got hit with one of those rocks dead on and did not die. I gotta say, our catapult crews are doing an embarrassingly bad job so far. I don't know where those skulkers are, but at this rate the battle's gonna end before they become visible. There they are. I'm pretty sure we're not gonna have to do anything here. Wait a second. What are you guys doing? I have no idea why our catapult crews are suddenly dancing. Alright, and I don't think that this should be necessary, but, you know. Honestly, everybody in toward the skulkers? I think they're about to give up in a second here. Yeah, they're not actually going to make contact with anybody. Oh, never mind. One of them took a swing at Ungrim. I'm pretty sure I saw that. Yeah, if we had auto-resolved that, the game would have accepted that their catapult did a bunch of damage to our troops that we didn't have to actually sit through. So yeah, we're in position to pursue, but unfortunately it seems like Azhai gets to just move as far as he wants, whenever he wants, so chasing him might be a little tricky. No major losses though, and if we, when I say no major losses, I mean no settlements or anything. We will have to rebuild an army down here. It's a thing we shouldn't have to do, but I think we came out ahead anyway. It's just less ahead than we would have if Azhai had not been able to reach the Rune Lord. Honestly, I don't even know why you get a choice at the ends of battles against greenskins. Dwarves, I do not think, would ever take greenskin captives alive. That seems unlikely. Okay, they can assault that garrison if they want. It looks like Kemmler is maybe considering still going after Karak Kadrin. Oh, that's a real vampire army there. You know, we've won some important battles this episode, but things are definitely still precarious. Let's have a quick look at, we'll start up the next turn. We'll have a quick look at the armies arrayed against us, and then we'll call it for the day here. At least we're getting to fight more than one kind of enemy now, though. Kislev is showing up as still being more powerful than we are. That's good. Tilia's at war with all of the orcs in the world. Also good for us. That means that Tilia is to the west. So that means that the greenskins now have to be concerned about their northern flank and their western flank and their eastern flank. Plus whatever's going on to the south, which I mean, I have no idea. Okay, enemy killed in battle. Garrison assaulted. Yeah, Kemmler's in a real hurry to get over here, which makes me nervous. We could build an additional garrison building. It would take 3 turns to complete, but that sure is a lot of extra units. Alright, I kind of think we need to do that for right now. As long as Karak Kadrin is on the front here, we're going to be in, like, grave danger. So, this is new. This is their actual faction leader, with an army that contains a lot of Black Knights. Honestly, not that scary. We can't see everything that's in it. And I know that he starts the game with a Vargulf, which may well still be alive. But yeah, we gotta be over here. Grimgor Ironhide with a ton of boar boys. is probably a single underway move from threatening Caragdromar. We desperately need to get walls up at Caragdromar. That's really what we got to spend our money on this turn, I think.
King acts.
So do I actually want to be in the settlement, or do I just want to be nearby and sneaky? Manfred could be headed for Caragdromar. I think... You know what? I think this is a decision I should make next episode. Let's also look at the situation down here real quick.
Not up then.
Yeah, Azhag's going to get to do a lot of replenishment.
To die in battle.
We should probably have Ungrim take this, or we could just run at him. My concern here is that just run at him probably means that we get pinched between these two armies. He doesn't have any other reinforcements in the area, though. Yeah, like we just grab these Iron Drakes so our army is full and go after him. That's going to be the plan. We'll figure out exactly what go after him means next episode. Like, taking this prevents him from really building a second army. If we let him get into Varenka Hills and have a turn of replenishment in there, we're basically just going to have to fight 1.5 stacks with our 1 stack. So maybe that's not a great play, but we could try some ambush stuff. Yeah, it might be worth it to take the settlement. I don't know. I'll think about it. In the meantime, thank you all so much for watching. Come back next time to see how we get vengeance for our fallen friends. And we'll see you then.